Welcome back to today's explainer. Today we are exploring a really fascinating concept from our source material called the Crucible of Character. We're going to break down the actual mechanics of how adversity uniquely shapes and ultimately completely reveals our inner character when the pressure is, well, dialed all the way up. Okay, let's dive into this.
So ask yourself, when is your true character actually revealed? Think about it. We all have this mental image of who we are, right? We think, oh, I'm kind, I'm patient, I'm super disciplined, I'm a reliable person. But is that identity forged in comfort, or is it forged in conflict? There is this huge, profound narrative tension between who we are when things are just easy and who we become when things get undeniably hard. Today, we're going to pinpoint the exact moments that answer that question.
And that brings us to Section 1, the Fairweather Illusion.
Now, it is incredibly easy to perceive ourselves as fundamentally good people when everything is just absolutely perfect. When the economy is thriving, work is smooth, your family is treating you great, we essentially live in an illusion of character. And this brilliantly illustrates that contrast. It compares those easy times with troubling times, stuff like unexpected crises, immense stress, natural calamities, or massive civil disturbances. See, it's so easy to lull ourselves into a false sense of security when the sun is shining. But adversity introduces an entirely different reality. Honestly, during those easy times, anyone can be a saint. We can easily behave well, stand by our word, make all the right decisions, and support others. It takes literally zero willpower to keep good habits like hitting the gym or helping a neighbor when the wind is at your back. And your biggest obstacle that day is, choosing what to watch on TV. Because the environment around us is so convenient and totally favorable, our actual character isn't being tested at all. Which leads perfectly into Section 2, the ultimate character test. Because what happens when that favorable wind turns into a Category 5 hurricane? Our true colors and our courage are tested exclusively by life's stressful situations. That cozy illusion we just talked about, it completely shatters the second an unexpected negative event hits. And this is the exact moment, the crucible itself, where our true inner character is fully exposed. It's no longer about what you do when it's easy, guys. It's about who you are when it is incredibly hard. Are you really the person you thought you were on that sunny day, or does the stress reveal something entirely different? This raw exposure of character inevitably leads to a massive fork in the road. Section 3, leaders versus followers. When adversity hits, humanity essentially splits right down the middle into two distinct groups. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it is precisely the decisions we make during tough times that definitively separate the leaders from the followers. Think about it. Anyone can captain a smooth sailing ship, but a real leader is forged when the ship is literally taking on water and total panic sets in. How you behave and the decisions you make in that exact moment of struggle are what set you apart. Our source material highlights this dynamic perfectly with this quote: "The attitude a person shows during troubling times makes them a person to rely on and depend on." So the crucial point is that dependability isn't just some buzzword you slap on a resume. No way. It is a trait forged entirely by your attitude under extreme pressure. If you can maintain a strong, positive, and proactive mindset when everything is going wrong around you, you instantly become the anchor for everyone else. Okay, so how do we actually become that anchor? Let's get into Section 4, the discipline blueprint. Here is the hard reality. Maintaining character isn't natural during intense stress. We must actively push and force ourselves to do the right things. Biologically speaking, when things get chaotic, your amygdala basically hijacks your brain. Your body just wants to panic, freeze, or shut down entirely. Therefore, navigating a real storm requires us to forcefully push against those base survival instincts. We have to deliberately prioritize our physical and mental well-being. We literally have to make it happen because it sure won't happen naturally. Let's move to the next point and see how this builds into a specific protocol. The source lays out a strict sequence for us. Exercise, eat healthy foods, take your vitamin supplements, really try to get some sleep, and do deep breathing. Now, I know what you're thinking. When you're in the middle of a massive crisis, these might sound like trivial little wellness tips, but in reality, having the iron discipline to adhere to these basic fundamentals is your absolute lifeline. Taking care of your physical and mental health becomes exponentially more important during any kind of severe stress. And why did those 5 simple steps matter so much? One word: rationality. By forcing yourself to strictly follow those health disciplines, you are creating a biological anchor. It's the exact mechanism that pulls you back from emotional chaos into a state of logic and rationality.
You simply cannot make those high-stakes decisions that separate leaders from followers if your brain isn't operating from a baseline of clear thinking. When stress pulls you into chaos, discipline is what pulls you back to clarity.
So this brings us to the ultimate question. The fair weather illusion? It's going to shatter for all of us eventually. When the next storm hits, and trust me, it will you let the stress dictate your character, or will you force the discipline required to stand strong and lead? Think really deeply about your own readiness. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and until next time, keep building that inner character.